is up, everyone? Train Freak here, and today is the layout, or I guess unlayout update, since I'm taking mine out, but for good reasons. Before we get to it, I've got two announcements. So let's start off with Sidetrack Sunday. It would be on Ray Bobel's channel tonight, but because there's 5 Sundays this month, him and Rick have swapped. So tonight, Rick Bailey up in the corner. I do not know what Rick the Tree is doing, but I heard there is a possibility that he might have a special guest. I don't know who, but he mentioned something about having a special guest. So we'll have to see if that person shows up or not, and who it is. So stay tuned to that one, 8 o'clock Eastern, for, good fun. Sidetrack Sunday's been down the drain here recently, so we'll see how bad it gets. Alright? Second announcement. 700 subscriber contest. We are only a few subscribers short of reaching it. Once we hit that 700 and hold it for about a week, I will be doing bingo live. And I want to say I've got roughly 70 to 80 people already registered, so this one's going to be good. Because there's 2 prizes this round. Thanks to a very generous donor, Manny Fernandaz, has asked me to throw in a second prize this round. So I did. So I'm curious to see who's going to win that, because that second prize, it doesn't matter what scale you are unless you're Z. Sorry, you Z scale people and even smaller. But N to G, this prize will work. So, and everyone who enters, no matter what scale you enter for, you're in for it. So, alright, so let's get to the layout update. So, I'll be right back. Well, there used to be a layout here. Not anymore. So yeah, there's the wall. Yeah, that's the pipe up there. So this whole wall literally has no layout. Phase 1 of getting the garage ready for the renovation is complete. I still got phase 2 to go, and I've started on it, but let me explain some of the things that are going on and what's next to come, because yes, all of this has to come out too. Whew, look at all that wood. That's all the plywood, all my 1x4s. I even got 2x4s over there. Yeah. So when I meant that I'm actually going to be able to save 90% of everything, I literally meant I'm going to save 90% of everything. So let me explain a little bit about the build. What I did was I wanted storage underneath. Okay. So I used 2x4s along the bottom, made a base, and I had 3/4 inch plywood, and these are just spare pieces. And what I ended up doing was making a base out of it and a couple of walls like that. I had a storage bin here, and then where the layout came out even wider, where the shop vac and these 2 totes were, I had another bin there. So it allowed me to store things like my camping gear and things like that. That's not necessarily model train related, but it gave me storage. And it didn't look completely junked up. So I haven't taken this storage out because I had someone tell me, well, they wanted to see my bench work and stuff like that. So there you go. There's my 1x4s. I pre-drilled holes in them. Those, I think, are 1-inch holes. I had to go back and drill a bigger hole on that one for the electrical outlet because the plug wouldn't fit through those 1-inch. But these holes would use everything as far as like my track bus, which my wire here, it's speaker wire, but it works great for a bus. And you can see one side is silver, one side is copper, and it is braided, so that works. Now this is for the main bus. That's not what my feeders are. I do not use that for my feeders, just the main bus. Communication wire like this is good to go for tortoise switches to like a Switch 8 MK2 by NCE, or using these for like BD20s going to the AIU01 auxiliary port. Communication wire does go a long way, so using some of that. And then of course like these wires here, that's for the cab bus. So, but yeah. So got that there. We got, so this air duct here. It comes here, it goes outside into a dryer vent. Pretty ingenious, huh? So this air duct actually goes to that white thing back there, and that is my portable AC unit. And on the back of it, it has an exhaust to exhaust all the heat out. And so I had to run this air duct through here, so that way it would go out the room, and I could cool this room off. Which it does great. I mean, it will cool this room off. You know, I let it run for 15-20 minutes, and I can come out here during a 95-degree day, and it feels great in here. But as soon as you open the garage door, then, you know, you're done and over with. So once I get this room enclosed and insulated, man, there's no telling how good of a job that thing's going to do. And it's got a temperature control on it, so I can set the temperature, and then it will, you know, run as needed. So that's pretty awesome. The electrical. So this is going to be tricky, especially on this part here, because we ran the electrical after this was put in. So if you look back there, you can see where we just drilled a hole through it and ran the pipe in. So what I'm going to have to end up doing is take my multi-tool and kind of cut a slit off to the left of it, so that way what I can do is just take this and slide it out. But I do have an individual breaker box for it, which that breaker box goes to this quad outlet, and each of those outlets go to an individual breaker right there. The top one is a 20 amp, which goes to the, what I call the deck lighting. That's the lighting that's up under the, you know, like up under level 2 that shines on level 1. And then, you know, you're going to put like another level above level 2 to shine on level 2, and you can use that for just storage. But I call it deck lighting. And so I was putting that on my 20 amp, and then the other circuit, the 15 amp, is for the DCC system and all the electronics for the layout in itself. You know, just to try to keep those separated, and then if I needed to work on something, I didn't have to completely kill one and worry about it getting overloaded. But there is a 40, I think it's a 40 amp. Yeah, it's a 40 amp circuit coming in. So, which runs to the back outdoor breaker box on the back side of my house. So, but yeah, I wanted to show you that, the bench work, because someone was asking about it. And, I mean, this is really stable. Even though I don't have a brace going from here over, there was really no need for it. So, it's really stable. The main thing is to keep the plywood from the middle sagging down, and it completely did its job. And actually, that sheet of plywood went all the way from there, and I had another set of bracing here, and I kind of had to rip it out. You can see where the 2 screws stick out. So, but sitting over here on the top, now with having a cubby there and a cubby here, I had to put in a trap door. And you should see a picture coming up with what the trap door looks like. And that was mainly for, so that way if I needed to get up in that corner and access up under the layout, I had the access to it. So, but yeah, as far as phase 1 goes, wall's completely empty. I've got a couple of totes there that's got track, row bed. I've got all my other totes there, which is all my locomotives, rolling stock cabooses, you name it. Turntables over there. I've got a tote up here with all of the electronics and wires and things like that. So that's all there. So that's mainly all I've got for phase 1. So let's go and look at phase 2. This is phase 2 over here. And it's mainly cleaning the junk out. And that was a mountain of stuff. Grills got to go. Those got to go. I've got a big thing of carpet here on the bottom, so I'm going to keep that in here because I might be able to utilize that. This table, this work table is going to go out to the shed or the shop. I've got one out there already that's empty. It was actually where the grill is now. But I've got space for one more. The other one, which doesn't have a shelf on the bottom, that one's probably going to go out to my other shed and not get used. But that's fine. But once I get that out of there, and that's mostly nothing but my train stuff anyways. Like you can see my buildings, kits, those little wooden platforms. That's a good idea on your layout if you're trying to build like multiple elevations and you want buildings and stuff on those elevations. You could build a wood platform and then work your scenery, you know, around it. I got signs and stuff that's going to be kind of hung up. This is my only YouTube channel sign that I've got, the Flying Crow. But the rest of these are all railroad signs, like, you know, the Santa Fe Chief. We got the Burlington Northern, Union Pacific. I got a Cotton Belt Route of the Morning Star there. That's a little different. And then, of course, I got a Cotton Belt one. Hey, that's what we run here. Not just that, but we also run this one. Southern Pacific Lines. And then, I thought this thing was cool. I got this from a collector years ago. And let me turn it this way. There you go. So that's the whole map of the Cotton Belt. And the town I grew up in, right there, it says Pine Bluff. So Pine Bluff is where I grew up. So it was the middle part of the route, huge hump yard there. Went from East St. Louis, Illinois down to Tyler, Texas. And of course a few branch, you know, spurs and stuff that cut off of it. But what was cool is not just the map, but that's the whole, that's the whole timetable. So I thought that was really neat to see that somehow get its image on this piece of wood. And it's really dusty, but you can see that's what it looks like. So I thought that was really neat. Got a railroad crossing sign. I'm sure it's supposed to be more like, there we go, like that. We got Great Northern, Rock Island, and I need more signs. So those are the only ones I got right now. But yeah, I definitely need some more signs for sure. I like railroad signs. It just kind of adds on to the decor, you know, to the room. Especially if you got like a blank wall that you don't have anything on. So pegboard's got to come out. The whole thing's not going to fit in the shed, so it will get cut down, which is completely fine. But even all these tools are going to go out there too. Except for the tools that I do need, like screwdrivers and things like that. But I don't need pipe wrenches for a model railroad layout. So a lot of these tools and stuff will end up going out there. And I can use the rest of this for my tools for the railroad. And not just that, but I'm also now a Soundtracks retailer / installer. So that's going to help me keep up with my inventory a lot better too, since I just opened up my business called Train Freak Hobbies. So if you want the hookup on Soundtrack stuff, let me know. I can fix you up. Let's see. But yeah, and as far as the rest of Phase 2 goes, I got to get this. All this has got to get out of here. I got to go through it. Probably trash a lot of it. Sell it. Who knows. But yeah, other than that, that's where I'm at. So Phase 2, I'm working on it. Hoping to get my uncle out here scheduled pretty soon so that thing can come out. We can have a wall there. And the room is going to be 235 by 235 inches of a double level layout. Oh, and one last thing before I forget. I've had a couple of people comment on this. As far as the pipe goes. So I measured. The layout is going to be about right here. So this is going to be hidden. I'm not even worried about it. So there you go. So other than that, Sidetrack Sunday, 8 o'clock tonight, Rick Bailey's channel. I wonder who that special guest is going to be. So I hope to see you there. Other than that, y'all be safe. Have a great weekend, or a great week. Sorry, have a great week. And happy railroading.